Everyone struggles with self-esteem in some way. Think of any character with a problem, whether it's an ice queen who hasn't dealt with her emotions properly, doesn't really know what her strengths are, or a supervillain god of mischief who keeps getting into trouble because he feels inferior to his brother. You could basically take any character with a problem and they probably have a self-esteem issue. But that's because we all have struggles with self-esteem. We can struggle with self-confidence, body image, social anxiety, or a combination of the three. But luckily, there are a lot of easy ways to improve it. Today I'm going to give you some quick tips to help you and your friends improve your self-esteem. I'm Miss Bailey, I'm a guidance counselor, and I'm going to teach you 4 ways that you can improve your self-esteem right now. Think of it as sage advice: self-awareness, accomplishments, goal setting, and empathy. Self-awareness is really complex, so I actually have the 4 S's of self-awareness. First S is stasis, and also think about its opposite, change. First, you need to understand the parts of yourself that you can change and the parts that you can't. For example, I can get better at drawing or improve my job situation, but I can't really change the size of my belly button, which was legitimately a huge problem for me when I was 13. Once you can accept the things that you can't change and the things that if you take actions you might be able to change, you can focus on the things over which you have agency and seek to improve them. Second S is stop. Stop blaming other people for things, especially for failures. Now, they might actually be to blame, but that won't help you. Research has shown that activating your own ability to improve or change a situation or skill works far better for self-esteem than somebody else coming in to save the day or the situation. The third S is for stress, or in this case, stress relief. So take 5 minutes every day to acknowledge the things that do stress you and to reflect on them. Then take 30 minutes a day to relieve that stress. The most effective way to relieve stress daily is through exercise. This could be anything from jogging to cycling to yoga to playing a sport. Whatever you think you can easily engage in for 30 minutes, 5 times a week. Above all, make time to relax and have fun. That's related to our last S, slack. You probably don't have teachers telling you to slack a lot, but I'm telling you to slack intentionally. If you're having self-esteem issues, take meaningful, predetermined breaks to do something fun for you. But don't do what most people do, which is slack off randomly when they get overwhelmed or feel bad. Your me time should have a real purpose and should be intentionally planned in order to improve self-esteem. The next part of SAGE is A, accomplishments. The experience of mastering something or acknowledging something that you've achieved improves self-esteem. So the first thing you should do is acknowledge if you've done something well. Write those things down and put them somewhere so you can actually notice them. Next, if there's something that you're already pretty good at but you could be much better at, engage in that thing, intentionally work towards an accomplishment that's tangible in that, whether that's a performance, demonstrating an artwork or skill, or growing that strength enough to help others. So for example, getting good enough at science so that you can tutor somebody in science. Evidence-based accomplishments improve self-esteem. On the flip side, failing to do a task or challenge or avoidance can actually reduce self-esteem. So work on improving procrastination, avoid avoidance tactics, and set lofty goals to work towards that force you to improve and grow. This is closely related to the third part of SAGE, which is goal setting. Now, goal setting is more about the process than the product. So set goals you know are never going to happen, either with new things or things that you can already do but you just want to improve. Investing in the process is actually going to be a positive thing that will help my self-esteem. This is a tricky one because you need to understand that failures are not setbacks, but failures are actually growth opportunities. If you're having trouble with that approach, then take a look at my video on failure. Challenge yourself. And it should be the challenge itself and looking at incremental growth that improves your self-esteem. The last part of SAGE is empathy. And for that, I'm going to share with you the empathy map, M-A-P. M, make contribution. Helping others has shown to boost both self-esteem and general happiness levels. So whether you're volunteering weekly somewhere or helping peers with their homework, this will automatically boost your self-esteem. Because when you're being helpful and helping somebody else, what you're doing is obviously of worth, and it's hard to deny that. The A in the empathy map is active listening. Think about when you're having a conversation with others. Who are you focused on? Most people focus on themselves in conversation, and that tends to make you more self-conscious, more self-centered, and less able to make social connections. Instead, practice active, engaged listening. Ask questions that will help you to learn more about the person or situation. For example, what do you think about this? Or I noticed you said that. Tell me more. Taking the focus off of yourself in conversation and genuinely engaging with another person's perspective or interests, listening to their thoughts and feelings, will ironically help improve your own self-esteem. Finally, the P in MAP is positivity. It's actually really tricky to change your mindset from negativity to positivity if you're used to that and in that pattern. With a couple weeks of practice, it becomes a habit. Part of empathy is actually focusing on the positive, because if you think about it, everybody wants to be in a positive environment. And if you're a positivity influencer, then you're going to change your environment for the better. Focus on the positive qualities, skills, and accomplishments of others. Focus on the good or beautiful or excellent things around you, and point out positive actions, events, or existence. Make room for what makes you laugh. You'll improve your self-esteem and actually influence your whole environment. If you've tried these approaches and it's not working, or if you don't have the motivation to try any of these approaches and you know you're struggling with self-esteem, there might be something deeper that needs to be addressed, possibly by a professional. Here are some warning signs about self-esteem. If you have difficulty making your own decisions or fall victim to peer pressure often, if you often feel depressed, lonely, or worthless, if you become involved in unhealthy or toxic relationships, if you often find yourself doing things you don't want to do in order to maintain relationships or friendships, or if you can't find anything you enjoy, then chances are it's time to connect with a professional counselor. But otherwise, your self-esteem should improve with practice. Please share this with somebody who might need help with their self-esteem or who has friends who do. Comment if you have other tricks that I haven't mentioned that worked for you. And of course, as always, subscribe so you don't miss my next video, which is going to be on happiness. Thanks for watching.